Indonesia is one of the worst offenders in the world. That's what President Trump says about its trade partner, and now Jakarta is paying the price. But how did Indonesia land on that list, and does it even deserve to be there? A lot of it has to do with what Trump sees as unfair trade by ASEAN countries. These are the top 5 ASEAN countries with trade surpluses with America as of 2023, meaning they're selling more to America than they're buying from it. Vietnam, 104.6 billion, Thailand, 40.7 billion, Malaysia, 26.8 billion, Indonesia, 17 billion, Cambodia, 11.3 billion, and Philippines, 4 billion. And how did Trump respond to this? With tariffs. Vietnam was hit with a 46% tariff, Thailand 36%, Indonesia 32%. And these tariffs are on top of a new 10% universal tariff that applies to all countries selling to America no matter what. Vietnam saw the tariffs coming. Its trade surplus with America exploded after Trump put tariffs on China in 2018. In the past year, Vietnam tried to cool things down by boosting American imports and negotiating new trade terms, but it wasn't enough. Vietnam got hit with a massive tariff. Thailand's now facing a 36% tariff, mostly due to strong exports of cars, electronics, and machinery to America. And Indonesia, 32% tariff. Unlike Vietnam, Indonesia hadn't been in Trump's spotlight before, but its trade surplus with America has been rising steadily, and from Washington's perspective, Jakarta hasn't done enough to fix it. That's the problem. Under Trump's logic, this isn't about diplomacy or development. It's about big numbers, big surpluses, and big tariffs. But it's not always big on analysis. And many see this not just as punishment, but as pressure. Trump's tariffs are often about leverage, a way to strong-arm countries to the negotiating table. Indonesia has its issues, but does it justify a 32% tariff? Some experts say America is using the wrong tool for the wrong problem, and now Indonesia is paying the price. Indonesia can't really hit back. It relies on American imports and investment, so pushing back could hurt more than it could help. The 32% tariff complicates Indonesia's entire manufacturing strategy. The country has been trying to attract investment as a China alternative, building out special economic zones, streamlining business permits, and offering tax incentives. Sectors like apparel, electronics, and furniture, where Indonesia has been trying to grow, will now face major headwinds in the American market. But for a long time, even before Trump, American trade representatives believed that Indonesia wasn't just running a surplus, it was doing it while putting up trade barriers. American officials have flagged Indonesia's restrictive import licensing, local content requirements, and halal certification standards that make it harder for American goods to enter the market. Add to that the perception that Indonesia's trade rules are unpredictable and non-transparent. And from Trump's point of view, that's enough to claim the game is rigged, even if reality is more complicated. Indonesia has simplified its import system and responded to WTO rulings, but reforms often get stalled or reversed. If America sees Indonesia as trading unfairly, those efforts might not help much anyway. So what might Jakarta do next? Some analysts expect Indonesia to boost imports from America, possibly in energy, agriculture, and defense. Others say Indonesia will try and fast-track trade talks or signal a willingness to adjust its policies, including revisiting policies like TKDN, which require local content in manufacturing. One of the complaints often cited by American officials as a trade barrier. Indonesia has tried to accelerate reforms in the past, but progress was slow and momentum stalled. The difference now is the scale of the tariffs, steeper, broader, and hitting Indonesia directly for the first time. Whether that shock is enough to push for deeper reforms remains to be seen. And even if Indonesia makes all the right moves, the core issue is this trade gap. If it wants to avoid being lumped in with Vietnam and China, Indonesia doesn't just need better policies, it needs to reduce its trade surplus. That's what Trump's world runs on. Perceived imbalance, big numbers, measured in big dollars. Because for Trump, trade isn't a relationship, it's a scoreboard. And the only thing that matters is that he's on top, even if the rules are unclear and even if the target keeps shifting. As long as he gets to say he's winning, the rest is just noise.